Hey everybody, Dave Duford here. Thanks for being here today. I'm with Luis Moreno of Medicare Advantage Mentor. Say hello to him,
Hey
Luis.
there, how you doing, guys?
So,
Glad to be
Luis,
here, David.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me.
Good.
Or thanks for you having me, or whatever. I
Hey,
don't know.
thanks for, yeah, either way,
You're
man,
here.
we're
I'm
doing
here.
good.
We're good to go. So, what are we doing today? So, we are
Well,
talking about Medicare Advantage, a new program that we're rolling out, and I'll be quiet now and let Luis jump in here and explain all about it.
I will. You know, it's a program that's been around, and it's for certain agents that want to participate in a retail store. Okay, and we're going to talk about the positives and negatives. I've been at a retail store for many years. I love it, and but you know, it's not for everybody. So I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to talk about this program. And here we go. Okay, guys. So with our partners at Senior Market Advisors, they're giving us access to the Walmart program. Okay. Now, these are Walmarts all over the country. So we have a list of Walmarts that you're going to have access to. Now, this is what's going to go on. Okay. So a couple of things. Before you can reserve a Walmart, okay, there are some criteria that need to be met by the agents. Okay. First of all, they have to be contracted and ready to sell. Now, I got this question yesterday. Well, I'm brand new. I'm just starting. I'm not ready yet. I'm waiting for AHIP to come out in the middle of June, and then I'm going to get contracted. You have, I believe, until September the 1st to get contracted and ready to sell. Okay, that means you do all your certifications with the carriers. Well, first you get your AHIP done, you get your carrier certifications, and then you get the actual ready to sell letter from the carriers, and they want you to have at least two. Okay. For the Walmart program, I would definitely suggest the big boys. You want to have the Humana, the United Healthcare, the Aetna, and then if Cigna is a heavy player in your area, you know, it's going to be more of a region kind of thing. But Humana and Walmart partner pretty heavily, so definitely want to make sure you get those. They also want you to make sure that you have a Met Sup. Okay, so if you don't have any Met Sups in your portfolio, get with David and ask for your contracting. Now, me preferably, I write most of my Met Sups with two carriers, United or Mutual of Omaha and with Aetna. I stick with those two. Now, there's hundreds of companies that sell Met Sups, but those are my two go-to. So if you're wondering which ones to pick, you know, those are my two that I go to most of the time. So ask David and he'll get you those contracts. Okay. Now, store allocation. Assuming you've met all these criteria, the store allocation is on a first come, first service. So guys, you're on a timeline if you want to do this. Okay. Now, here are some of the requirements that you've got to fulfill if you want a store. You've got to be at a store for at least 20 hours a week, 3 days a week. Okay, and you can ask for more hours if you want to. Okay, here's another biggie. You've got to report. Okay, you got to report your results. Okay, you know how many people you talk to, your sales. You know, they want to know what's going on. Okay, agents, again, they have to have at least 2 participating MA carriers and 1 supplement. We already discussed that one. And then here's the deadline. You got to have your AHIP and you're ready to sell certifications by September the 1st. So if you're just starting, you got plenty of time to hop in and get this done. Okay. Now, here's kind of how they're doing this. These are some important dates to know. So round 1, what they're doing here is they're asking the agents who already have stores if they want those stores back. So these are for the returning agents. And then they go into round 2, which start excuse me, which started yesterday. So yesterday, now they're going to start, you can pick your stores and you'll have until June the 11th. Okay, now there's a little payment date and we'll talk about monies right now. Okay, so you've got round 2 and then you've got round 3 and so forth. Bottom line is if you're awarded a store, you're going to start on October the 12th. Okay, 3 days before AEP. And then you're going to be there until December the 7th, which is the last day of AEP. Okay. Now, a couple of things. We're talking about the money. Okay, if you want the store, if you want a Walmart, it's going to cost you $500. Now, I did get this question asked. Well, what if I want to partner up with somebody and I want to alternate hours or whatever? You can split that $500. Okay. So I know one agent there are 4 agents, and they're going to alternate hours, and they're going to split that 500. So very doable. Stores can also be secured for the first quarter in 2020. It's going to cost you an additional $250. This is, if you're going to do this, this is going to be a heck of an opportunity for agents, because during the first quarter, you've got OEP, open enrollment. This is the time of the year where insureds have the ability to make a like move. So if they got a plan and they're not happy with their decision, they can move one more time during OEP. So it's still a very productive time to write business. Okay, you got to secure your store by making your payment, and then you have to have 90% reporting. Pretty much, you got to report. There's agents that just show up and they leave, and they're actually there during the required times, but they don't report it. And guys, you will lose your store. Okay, so very, very important that you take care of that. Now, here's a couple of things that are super important to realize. And then I'm going to talk about my experience. Okay, first of all, here are the requirements. So no big deal. You guys already should know that. It's the third time I mentioned it. Got to have 2 MA carriers and 1 med sup. Okay, you got to be compliant. Okay, this is where agents get in trouble. If you look down here at the bottom, David, 0 no-shows. What this means is there is not an acceptable excuse. Okay, I got a flat tire. Well, you know what? You got Uber. My car broke down. I got Uber. You know, there's snow. You know what? I will tell you, these events get filed with CMS, and there's just literally not a good excuse. I haven't found one that works. Now, if you're in the hospital, oh, okay, fine. But you know what? Bottom line is you've got to do everything in your power to notify the store of what's going on, because you cannot have that booth unmanned. Okay, and I tell agents, well, I got an appointment. It's a huge sell. You know what? Too bad. You have to be at that store. There is no, like I said, there is no excuse for not showing up. Okay, as far as maintaining service hours, you got to be there 3 days a week, a minimum of 20 hours. Okay, and then reporting. You know, I tell you, you got to check in with the pharmacy. You gotta have 90% reporting. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Now, here is a couple of things, and that's pretty much it with this slide, Dave. So I can stop the screen share, and then we can just have a little chit chat about it. And you know, we got this out of the way. So let me get into my controls. Okay, there we go. All right. So is this a good thing? You know, that's a question we gotta ask, David. I'm gonna share my experience. So the first time I got into this, I got a store, and it was in what I call the Alamo Heights area here in San Antonio. I was super excited because this is the high-end neighborhood. This is people with money, $1 million homes. And I was like, God, how lucky could I be? Well, I didn't realize, you know, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I get into this store, and I managed the entire AEP. I asked for 5 days. I was there all 5 days, and I didn't make one sale. Why? Those people in those higher end neighborhoods take care of their business. They actually planned for retirement. So they're not going to Walmart to get their Medicare insurance. So bottom line, guys, it's not a good thing. You want to get into your areas of town that are lower economic, you know, the rougher part of town. You want to be in areas where people don't have the resources, the knowledge to take care of their retirement plans. That's where you want to be. So as far as scouting, once we get the list to you, you're going to want to get with David. He'll share that list with you, and you go scout your Walmart. Again, you don't want to be at the higher end neighborhood. You want to be at the lower end neighborhood, rougher part of town. You'll have a heck of a lot more success. Now, second year, I was like, hell no, I don't want that neighborhood anymore. I bailed. Okay. The following year, I took my own advice. I want the lower end. I went shopping for Walmarts, and all the good Walmarts were taken. Okay. The one that was not taken was one in a rural community about an hour away from San Antonio. I was like, you know what? I'll take it. What the hell? Can't be any worse than what I did last year. Okay. So I signed up for that one. And I tell you what, I've been there almost 8 to 9 years, I guess. And I write from that little sitting, I write about 100 apps during AEP. Wow. Not bad. I mean, literally, I'm just sitting there, I'm writing. You know, it's great. Now, I don't write as many just because I've been there for 8 years. I pretty much have hit the market. But I average 50, 60 now, but mainly it's a hell of a retention tool for me. Every customer, I started getting calls. Hey, you know, are you coming back? Yes, I'll be there. My schedule hasn't changed. I go 2 days a week. I give them my schedule, and now they just want to come in and do a review of their policy. So I do a lot of reviews there at the Walmart. So I will tell you, it is for me, it's a good opportunity. It does slow me down. I've got 9 agents that work with me here. I take them with me sometimes, and I'll have them help me out. But these retail stores are not for everybody, David. You know, we were talking about that earlier. Who's somebody who wants to get into a retail store? Well, I'm going to tell you who I think shouldn't be in a store. Now, if you got one of your agents, David, that is ordering a ton of leads, you know, they've got a system right now. They're writing business. You know, they're meeting with insureds all day long, and they're consistent in their sales. I have a feeling that this Walmart, this retail opportunity may slow them down. Okay, but if you're on the other side of the spectrum, okay, you're having some difficulty with that. You're not ordering leads, or you're brand new and you want to start to get a feel for the business. This could jumpstart your business, because now you're going to have a booth and you're going to have seniors that want help, that want reviews for your policy. So you got to figure out where you're at. Like I said, I don't think there's a right and wrong. It's just kind of, you know, if you're out there hustling and seeing 8 to 10 people a day, well, you're going to give up half of your day sitting at that Walmart. And I will tell you, out of the entire AEP, which starts October the 15th to the end of December, the first 2 weeks of, you know, I would say all of October, and maybe the first week of November, maybe second week of November, it's freaking slow. You know, there's no excitement. You know, there's no deadline. You know, deadline's still a month, you know, in December the 7th. So there's no sense of urgency for the seniors to want to see you. So I schedule most of my reviews during that time. So agents may kind of feel like, man, I don't think I made a good choice. And once you've made your choice, you can't back out. You've got to stay in. You got to maintain your commitment. So I do think the Walmart it's an opportunity for some. David, any questions on your part?
So when's that money due?
Say again?
When is the money due?
Okay, the money is due. Let me get my volume up here. All right, let me get my screen opened up. The money for the first round is due June 17th. So this is time sensitive. So you got to go out there, find your store, scout it out, make sure it's the one you want. And then by June 17th, what's going to happen, and I haven't talked yet with the hires up at 360, is how Senior Market Advisors is going to pay for the store. And then they're going to come to 360 and say, okay, you owe us this money. So we've got to collect from the agent. So I think what we're going to do, and I need to check up with the guys on this one, is if somebody wants a store, we're going to have them go ahead and pay immediately.
What if they intend to be Medicare Advantage credentialed after that date? Are they still eligible?
Oh, that's fine. You're good. You can choose your store if you're not ready to sell, but you will be. The deadline to be ready is, I'm going through this screen. You've got to be ready to sell by September the 1st.
And let's say you're in that position where you want a store, you're not ready to sell. Can you preemptively pay a deposit to reserve it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. So you're a brand new agent. You haven't got certified. You're not doing Medicare, but you're planning to. As long as you get it all done by 9/1, September the 1st, you're good to go. Otherwise, you lost your store, and you're probably not going to get that $500 back.
Okay, so it is not a non-refundable deposit.
Right.
It's out there. You don't do it. You're not ready by 9/1. Too bad.
You've lost it. And I will tell you guys, AHIP The certification for Medicare is coming out June 22nd. Okay, so there's going to be plenty of time for you to be ready by 9/1. If you don't get ready, you know what? You just kind of shot yourself in the foot. You know, that's your fault. But you've got plenty of time to choose your store. You don't have plenty of time to choose your store. You got to make your decision if you want it now. But you will have plenty of time to get certified and get that ready to sell.
And how many Walmarts are agents going to have access to? How big is that list? What are we looking at?
It's nationwide. It is huge. And I would tell you, for some of y'all, and so my little booth, I have a table. It's a tablecloth. I've got my Medicare banners up. I've got chairs in the front. I hang balloons. I have candies for the seniors or anybody walking by. And I tell you what, you could have a hell of a Walmart, but if you bury yourself in your computer in the back of it, nobody's going to show up. They don't want to bother you. But you know what? If you're sitting in the front or standing in the front and greeting, there's nothing wrong with greeting seniors. Okay, you can go up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And you got your pin on you. Ask me about Medicare. You can fish. You can do all kinds of things. You just don't want to jump at them and say, "Hey, you got any questions about your Medicare?" You don't want to do that, but you want to be inviting. Now, the other thing I would tell you, I love my pharmacists at that store. I bring them food. I bring them tacos in the morning. I kind of become a resource for them. So the first year, they kind of really didn't take on to me. Second year, you build that relationship. And now I tell the pharmacist, hey, when you get an insurance question, I don't care if it's over 65, under 65, unless you want to handle it, bring it to me. And they're like, what? Of course we don't want to handle it. We're in the business of dispensing medications, not talking insurance. And I'm like, bring them over to me. And I would tell you, I worked OEP, AEP, OEP, but throughout the year, they're handing me business. They keep my cards and they're sending me business. Even though I'm gone, they're like, this is our insurance guy. He's here every single year. You need to contact him. So they become a hell of a resource for me. So for those that are thinking, should I not? You kind of look, you got to look at your business plan. You got to figure out what you're doing right now. If you're floundering, this may be a great little jumping board for you to get a solid footing. But if you're out there hustling and you got a full schedule right now with your work, my suggestion is probably don't do it. It's going to slow you down.
The way I look at this, Luis, is, the cost relative to get in to the cost relative to the opportunity, the upside is just, it's a no-brainer. If you're not in a position right now, especially to afford a lead program, or if you're curious or concerned about that, and you're just not feeling good about this, I mean, to me, this is just an obvious selection. There's tons of opportunities, lots of Walmarts to go after. And as long as you can commit to it, it might be, like you're saying, a great way to get started in this business, to get clientele, and then to have an ongoing relationship where you come back and again, and people do business with you more and more. So yeah, I think this is right for the perfect agent. And by now, if you're at this point in the video, I assume that you're probably very well suited for this. And what I would like to do is kind of tell you what the next steps are. So below this link, I'm going to have a form that you can fill out with your information. If you're interested in seeing what Walmarts are available, and this is something that you think might interest you, please put your name on this list along with your email, your phone number. And then over time, as I have availability, I will send you the available Walmarts. I'll give you more information as it comes available. But you really need to get on this list because, as Luis was prepping me before our interview, this is time sensitive. The Walmart you may want may not be there when you actually go to reserve it. People will move fast on this because of the obvious advantages. So if you're interested, go to the link below, fill out that form. We will be in touch with more information on what steps you need to take to reserve your Walmart. And then if you're interested in working with us on Medicare, I'll send you some information over on that. Luis, any final words?
I did forget one thing. They mentioned we had a call because we had a bunch of questions when we rolled this out yesterday. They did mention that depending on your sales, and I don't know what the number is, but you're going to have a potential to get $250 back of that $500. Okay, so not a bad deal. But let's just say you don't get that. You mentioned a good point. $500, well, it's a lot of money, but then it's not. You look at it, it's one new Medicare sale, and you're still $10 ahead. So one sale and you've made your money and you're good to go. So, if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're watching this, and you're at this point, you're right, David. If they hung in there this entire time on this video, I would tell you that they're kind of interested. Click on that link down below. Get with David. We will get you that information out as quick as we can.
Perfect. Luis, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, guys. I'm glad to be here. And, we do what we do. We'll help you out there, guys. Realize, we're partnered up with David. Our business is helping agents sell more Medicare. So we're glad to help.
Luis, thank you for your time. See you guys.
All right. You're welcome. Take care, buddy.
Bye.